The most arrogant killer ever. This is the fucking shit that I need. And I pull the sheets back and let my hammer clap. My bad.
The sheets back. I get on him.
Pause.
And he wakes up.
And then you fuck him? Wait, whoa, we're 4 seconds in.
The sheets back. I get on him. And he wakes up. He's, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get off me.
It's like something out of...
Take it out of my butt.
There's an arm, there's another arm.
And so I'm there in a car quickly being flooded with water.
Like the part two. He looked like the modern day Jeffrey Dahmer, no cap. The modern day Jeffrey Dahmer, no cap.
I'm very remembered for dying of hypothermia and a botched attempt at hiding a body. And I'm just like...
This is 19-year-old Brian Cohey, about to be questioned regarding the murder of Warren Barnes, a 69-year-old homeless man. Picture Grand Junction, a city with a large homeless population.
Yeah, no, for real. And it's crazy how that's like the start of a lot of shit too.
Often found lost in the pages of a paperback, Warren brought a touch of whimsy to the downtown scene, lending a hand to store owners and picking up odd jobs along the way. Brian Cohey, on the other hand, had begun showing psychopathic tendencies from a very young age. According to his mother, he developed an obsession with murder at the age of 15. He would frequently search for information about serial killers on the internet, studying the methods they used to carry out their heinous crimes.
Dog, and you know what's crazy is like, so once again, I know I brought up crazy, like I learned about like social. I did social work before, right? And being in a psychology class, like looking at all this shit in an outside perspective, I don't know if it was just me, but at one point we were learning about it like this kind of like little case study. No, we were learning about the what's it called? Y'all know the prison movie where it was like an experiment and you have like 3 guards and like 5 inmates, and then the guards started letting the power get to their head and all that shit. Instantly at one point I'm sitting there, I'm like, what would I do if I was the guard? Like, what would I have done? And I swear to you, learning that shit puts you into their, not really puts you into their shoes, but it makes you think, like, what would I have done? What would I have done differently? It is fucked. And I'm so happy I got out of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm so happy I got out of it.
This morbid fascination consumed him and earned him the nickname Dahmer, after the infamous Jeffrey Dahmer. By the time Brian turned 18, he was fixated on the idea of murdering someone just to experience the sensation. He would often go on night drives wearing a blue jumper.
He's a Michael Myers guy.
In search of potential victims. Brian contemplated targeting high-risk individuals, believing it would attract less attention. His original plan involved hiring a prostitute, subduing her.
These are like real like interrogations.
Brian was so cooperative during his arrest that the police didn't even have to use handcuffs. He was brought in for questioning around 2:30 p.m.
We never met, have we?
No.
Can you, it's Brian, walk me through, how do you spell your last name?
Thomas Cohey, C-O-H-E-E.
Okay. And what's your birthday, Brian?
January 10th, 2002.
And how did you get here?
I murdered someone.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
To start back at the beginning.
How long are we talking?
Details as you can remember.
So, Murray going to jail for the 15 years, probably?
I have no idea.
Because
we're at the beginning now.
It's murder. I mean, I'm going to jail for 20, probably.
Knowing he was in trouble and...
So these motherfuckers are just laughing together about murder? I mean, I guess the interrogator kind of has to sound like you're like his friend, right? Y'all like 2 peas in a pod, but this dude's like, huh, well, I guess I'm going to jail for murder. Like, what?
And unable to lie his way
his virtual girlfriend
Brian accepted the overwhelming evidence
next stream tomorrow. We're watching that. Tomorrow we'll watch that. Save that video if you can,
a significant portion of his
life. What's a good zombie? I fully forgot to say that.
As a result, he appeared relaxed and maintained a calm demeanor throughout the interrogation.
So what's important to me is to learn as much about you and what you did and as I can. Well, as many details as you can give me, the better.
Yeah, it was the night of February 27th. It was a full moon. And I figured I can see so well when I drive out. I am in a bad state of mind at that time. I have major depressive disorder, so I am not thinking positively.
Okay.
On the night of February 27th, 2021, during one of his nocturnal drives to clear his mind and seek out a victim, Brian couldn't find a prostitute.
No, yeah, save for tomorrow. We'll watch the whole
After
thing.
cruising around for over an hour, he stumbled upon Warren Barnes, who was sleeping under a tent beneath the bridge near the Messer County Sheriff's Department.
And I see a shape here on the railway tracks. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So I go up, and as I'm looking, I see a large thing wrapped in a canvas.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a homeless person.
Without hesitation, Brian donned his gloves, retrieved his 12-inch kitchen knife from the glove box, and pulled back the canvas, proceeding to stab Warren Barnes in the neck.
He was saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Ah! And I said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Murder someone. The whole ordeal lasted about a minute and a half. Is it okay if I do a demonstration?
Oh, yeah.
This is him. I was straddled on top of him like this.
Okay.
And he couldn't fight back. It was actually surprisingly easy. I was barely breaking a sweat. I thought, oh, this guy, he's going to be tough. But no, it was actually surprisingly easy.
Without meeting her. So was it like a catfish situation
I
too?
was growling and making animalistic noises.
Why were you doing that?
Fuck.
I suppose it was a frenzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so excited, so rushed up on adrenaline and everything. But
Warren was stabbed more than 30
Ah,
times. He was asleep
My bad.
before the attack, catching him by surprise and preventing him from fighting
He
back.
paid to talk. Oh, that's
After
criminal.
approximately a minute,
That's
Warren let
crazy.
out a final grunt and succumbed to his injuries.
I stripped his clothes. I gave him a Glasgow smile.
What's that?
A Joker smile. And
Huh!
I left his body there.
It's right here. Yeah. Because there's an arm. There's an arm, there's another arm.
Okay, hold on. Do some pictures. Right, here's a leg.
We dismembered him too? What the fuck?
Brian took a few pictures of the corpse but immediately deleted them, recognizing the potential incriminating evidence they represented if he were to be caught.
And then I took the head, put it in a leftover pizza box from the dinner a few nights ago. And then I took the hands, put them in the back, drove home, hid the hands and head in my room. And then I tried going to sleep, but I was worried that because there was a hole in my gloves right here, I was worried that they would be able to obtain a partial print. So I figured, why not go all the way? I drove back in a different outfit, picked up his body, put it in my trunk, and drove to the Blue Heron drop-off station. The ramp is quite steep, and you need to have four-wheel drive to pull out of it.
Okay.
And my car didn't. And I opened the trunk, I take his body out, I put it in the water, and because I don't want fingerprints on a body, so I just try moving it with my shoes. That works successfully. He goes out some part in the river and floats off.
Okay.
God knows where he is now.
After disposing of the body in the river, Brian attempted to drive his truck out of the area. However, without four-wheel drive, his vehicle became stuck.
I tried putting it full throttle.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. My car doesn't have four-wheel drive. Stupid me. And so
What the fuck is happening?
I'm trying everything at this.
Right.
And it still doesn't come out. And then it slides into the river.
Oh,
My car slides into the river, me inside. It is the middle of February,
it's cold.
at night,
Yeah.
in the river that's almost freezing. I almost died. So I'm able to climb out. I don't see the body, so I assumed it's a travel day.
Okay.
And I come up, and I'm sitting there. I need to act fast or else I'll die of hypothermia. I'm panicking a bit at this point. I'm going to be like, this is what I'm going to be remembered for, dying of hypothermia and a botched attempt at hiding a body. And I'm just like,
What the
Brian
fuck is
immediately
wrong
called
with
his
this
parents
guy?
to inform them of the car's submersion and his drenched state.
so what I say is, I feel like I need to get out. I often do. I feel like I need
Oh,
to
he
get
did.
out.
He's
And my thoughts.
arrogant
I
as
mean,
fuck
that's
about
what-
this.
Absolutely.
So I say that I drive down to the Blue Heron Point and just park and just
No, for real. She's mentally ill.
And I tell them that I'm stupid and I park too low, and that my car flies in the river.
Okay. Did they believe you?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the police came. I didn't do a breathalyzer test because I wasn't drinking.
Was it the police or the sheriff that
It
came?
was the police.
Okay. All right.
He's right there if you want to talk to him. Hi.
Hi.
No, literally, actually insane.
Do we call a tow for that?
I don't know, because he'd have to get in the friggin' water.
I called Black's Towing, and they want me to text them a photo of the car because they think they might be able to pull it out.
Okay.
You know, no, for real. There's no way people those are actually like, real.
He was almost 18 before he got his driver's license because we didn't want him having any accidents like they do when they're 16 and 17 and
Gotcha.
stupid things. But stupid, he doesn't have any issues, I guess.
Yeah.
At this point, she is completely unaware of the terrible crime that her son has committed.
And you weren't drinking. No, you drinking? You were not drinking?
No, I was. I have never touched.
Oh, Matt, did you know they dropped like 15 more episodes of Baki? I just found that out today. I'm sorry to interrupt this, but I had to say I fully forgot about that.
After Brian went back home, both his mother and the police noticed blood on the rear bumper of the truck.
And obviously he got caught, right? The dude got caught, obviously.
They immediately see blood on the bumper, and they're all thinking, "We really like to get in this trunk."
Yeah, I'm gonna binge it too. I might watch it tomorrow.
There is nothing in the trunk.
Brian thought he had gotten away with murder and believed that the victim, Warren Barnes, would go unnoticed. However, he couldn't have been more mistaken.
I'm not
Soon
surprised.
became
I'm really
apparent
not
that
surprised.
Warren was a well-known figure in the community, and his friends grew concerned when they couldn't reach him the following day.
So,
Nothing.
and he,
That was
and so why did you, what raised concern with you today to report him missing?
because the place people already called to see if I had seen him because he didn't show up for work, and he's never once not shown up for work in the 4 years he's been working for them. So I said no, and that I hadn't seen him since Saturday.
My boss's name is April Walker. She's actually the manager of the store. And she asked me today, did you see Warren today? And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, actually, no. And she was like, well, I just saw this on Facebook. He's been missing since Saturday. And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, he just seems like he's family to us, you know, because we talk to him every morning, and a lot of homeless people come in there, and I just feel comfortable having him there.
Meanwhile, the police pulled the car out of the river and noticed more blood on the door handle, as well as the bloody gloves on the passenger seat.
Nah, for real, the wrong
He
one.
forgot to throw the gloves away.
So pretty much he killed him because he wanted to experience what it was like to murder someone. That's pretty much what it was. He wanted to feel like the thrill of killing someone. Yeah.
Curious about the blood.
No, really, it's crazy how heartless homeless dude is.
They didn't know what to believe this day because it's blood, it's sticky, it's sinewy, but I can't name a source. So they were just a tiny bit curious.
While all this was happening, Brian's mother called the Messer County Police Department to report finding a plastic bag with possible human remains in her son's closet. Brian had a morbid interest in forensics and knew that Warren's head would start to smell after a few days.
3 days, the body starts to stink. No, 3 hours, rigor mortis sets in. Body stiffens. 3 days, the body starts to stink because of decomposition.
Want to pass out?
3 weeks.
Funny enough, I'm okay with real blood. I hate fake blood though. Fake blood makes me want to fucking vomit. No word of a lie.
The body is starting to seriously decompose.
Right, great.
3 months, the body is unrecognizable. 3 years, it
No,
turns
literally,
into a
that's what he was
skeleton.
watching. No, he wanted to be Michael Myers.
You were just kind of in a bad state that night.
It was, yes.
Okay. Why were you in a bad state?
During the interrogation, Brian talked about his mental health struggles and thoughts of He mentioned being diagnosed with schizophrenia and experiencing hallucinations where he believed people were staring at him through the window and eyes.
Oh
were
yeah,
watching
there's
him
very
from
yeah.
the
No,
windows.
you're right.
I was watching the video when all of a sudden I start going into existential thoughts. I get the feeling, I know that it isn't, but I get the feeling that there are eyes on the walls watching me, eyes on the furniture. And I cover myself up. I'm like, oh God, eyes. And I'm worried if I stick anything out from the bed, blades will come up and chop it off. My whole body was shaking. Not like out of fear. It was like...
The combination of his mental health challenges and fascination with murder may have distorted his perception of reality, making it difficult for him to distinguish between his delusions and what was actually happening. Schizophrenia is sometimes used by murderers as a defense, claiming they weren't in the right state of mind. However, research shows that people with schizophrenia are not more prone to violent crimes than the general population.
Really?
In Brian's case, he was sober during the murder, so this negates the idea of schizophrenia being the reason behind the murder.
I don't have any hallucinations.
Okay.
I had delusions, I guess.
Okay.
Like, years ago, I thought that was...
Nah, for real. L-man, holy fuck.
Okay, I felt people watching me from every window. The birds were looking at me, watching me.
Okay.
For creative purpose. That was a delusion, I suppose.
Okay, right.
For a while, I was willing to do anything, good or bad. That was years ago in school. I was willing to do anything, whether it be good or bad, just to gain notoriety, fame, influence.
I'm very curious.
I don't think he can, just for the fact of like he's not playing psychotic, so I think he's able to get away.
The next 15 years of my life look set in stone. Prison. If I go back tonight, probably wouldn't have done it. Knowing that, knowing what it felt like, knowing how this will all turn out, I wouldn't have done it.
Although he claims he wouldn't repeat his actions if given the chance.
I'm about to say something fucking crazy. for a second. I want y'all to think about this, alright? So, you have a time machine, right? I want to know how many people would murder someone and then go back in time just so they can know what it feels like, but then not get like in trouble for it. You know what I mean? I'm super curious how many people would do that. I feel like that number would be, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I feel like 40%. I am dead serious. I feel like 40% of people would actually would try it. Like I'm a firm believer of that. I am a firm believer of
Brian
that.
demonstrates a disturbing lack of remorse or regret for taking a life. His disappointment stems not from the act of murder itself, but rather from his expectations of it.
I thought it would be the best feeling in the world.
Okay. And you said you didn't feel much of anything.
Excitement.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But other than that, no.
This lack of satisfaction reveals a disturbing disconnection from the human experience and a disregard for the value of life. It highlights the profound extent of his psychopathy, where empathy and remorse seem to have vanished. Brian was charged with the first-degree murder of Warren Barnes, among other charges.
I feel like if you went back in time and killed someone as your future self, your present self would get. Oh no! I'm talking about you do like let's say someone goes out and does it tomorrow, and then they go back in time so the person never actually got killed. You just know the sensation of what it's like to do that. Looking and they do it again. That's crazy.
Took place
That's
on January
insanity.
17th, 2022.
He
During the
seems
trial,
so
he pleaded
calm,
not guilty
though.
by reason of
He has an upside down cross on the back of his fucking ear.
insanity,
Brother, oh
claiming
my
that he was not
God.
in the right state of mind at the time of the murder and therefore should be deemed innocent. However, after undergoing several psychiatric evaluations, Brian was deemed mentally fit to stand trial. Throughout the trial, Brian displayed a disturbing lack of remorse, often seen smiling and laughing. Watching your mother cry and not showing any emotion says
It's
a lot
crazy.
about someone's personality.
Nah, literally.
After a
No, it's not gonna be deemed unguilty. It's gonna be. Well, actually, no, that's what he means. But like, I think he's trying to say like he should be deemed not in the right state of mind, so he doesn't take it as harsh of a sentence, which is still crazy to
Trial
me.
and 2 days of deliberation, Brian Cohey was found guilty for the murder of Warren Barnes and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Good. Fuck that dude, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at that fucking face. Look